Good day everyone! For today's video, we are going to help you in reviewing for your LET examination.
This is episode 1, all about assessment.
For this episode, we are only focusing on authentic assessment. Are you ready?
But before we start, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our channel for more LET reviews.
To start with, what is an authentic assessment? Authentic assessment is performance-based, wherein learners apply their knowledge through real-world tasks that must be correlated with real-life experiences. Authentic assessment is used for improvement and not for judgment. Before we go deep in this type of assessment, let us look first on how authentic assessment is different from traditional assessment.
To better understand and differentiate these two, let us take a look with different examples. As you can see, in a traditional assessment, from selecting a response, it changed into performing a task as an authentic assessment, as well as how teacher structured turned into student structured, as it went from traditional to authentic assessment. Looking back into your own experiences when you were elementary up until now that you are pre-service teachers, have you noticed how your assessments change over time? Is traditional assessment still used nowadays?
If I were to answer that, I remember that during elementary days, teachers are the only one discussing the topic and the students only listen and take note of everything. However, when I entered senior high school, we the students are the ones discussing and presenting the topic of the day.
In addition to that, I also noticed that during examinations in elementary days, we just encircle letters of the correct answer. We only recall what was discussed. But now, examinations can be done through different activities, which requires us to really apply the concepts and lessons that we have learned.
This is indeed the nature of authentic assessment.
It is performing while applying your acquired knowledge.
Moving on, now that we know what authentic assessment looks like, let us now look on its characteristics and how an authentic assessment is considered as good.
As you prepare for your LET exam, and especially as a pre-service teachers, knowing these characteristics is very important.
To start with, we have a total of 5 characteristics of an authentic assessment. An authentic assessment is considered good when it began with setting a clear and definite criteria for performance. As a pre-service teacher, it is important for us to give clear and appropriate criteria for our chosen assessment. We are trained that we set our goals and objectives first and foremost because it will be the standard of your discussion, assessment, as well as evaluation.
Next is that good authentic assessment is criterion reference rather than norm reference. Criterion reference simply means looking into the learner's strengths and weaknesses, while norm reference is about comparing and ranking the learners. In an authentic assessment, rubrics are used to evaluate the performances. It is used in order to break down the scores of the learners, considering the different criteria stated in the rubrics. We will also talk about rubrics on our following episodes, so make sure that you subscribe in our channel for you to be updated.
In authentic assessment, it is also important that the learners shall create answers and not just choose from the given choices.
In connection with that, a good authentic assessment emphasizes performance. wherein it encourages students to determine the rate of progress.
Lastly, in an authentic assessment, the role of the learners as passive becomes active and involved learners. Because as what we said, we do not just answer tests and recall our learnings. In authentic assessment, the application of knowledge or a certain real life experience or situation will really test how we involve ourselves for progress and for learning on our own.
Again, authentic assessment is performance based. It requires us to apply our knowledge and perform real world tasks that is correlated with real life experiences. It is way different from traditional assessment.
Finally, a good authentic assessment begins with setting clear and definite criteria. It identifies the learner's strengths and weaknesses since it is criterion reference. It requires students to create answers. It emphasizes performance to rate their progress, and it changes the learner's role from passive into active and involved learners.
That would be all for this episode entitled All About Assessment. I am Sister Irene Gopo, a pre-service teacher.
And I'm Francheska Gwyneth Morata, a pre-service teacher. Thank you for watching and see you again on our next episode. Padayon future educators!